Hi, welcome back to The Boy at the Back of the Class. This is chapter 26, The Present. It's been 2 weeks since we were all in the newspapers and received the Queen's letter, and in lots of ways, things feel just the same as they did before. Mum doesn't walk me to the bus stop anymore, and strangers have stopped staring at us with funny looks on their faces. And I'm still hoping to win first prize for my photosynthesis plant, even though Ahmet's plant is growing faster than everyone else's again. He's teaching me some words in Kurdish, like grow more and grow up, and I love you lots, and I think it's working. But in lots of other ways, things aren't normal at all. Aunt Christina comes round much more often, and she buys me presents too. I think she likes us now because we're in the newspapers. I still don't like her. Whenever she comes, I ignore her, and I make Uncle Lenny play Scrabble with me, and Mum like he used to. Mr. and Mrs. Rashid from the floor below have invited Mum and me for dinner this weekend, which means Mum might have a new best friend. And next week I'll be going with Tom and Josie and Michael and Ahmet to Buckingham Palace to have tea with the Queen. Sometimes I get so excited thinking about it that I have to jump up and down just as high as I can until my insides feel calmer. I think they must know that things can never be the same again after you've had tea with an actual Queen. Mum asked me what I'd like to take as a present for the Queen, and I thought about it for 3 hours. In the end, I decided that, as she doesn't really need anything, and I can't afford to buy her real diamonds or a ruby, I would buy her a pomegranate from the man with the royal heart. Because I think the next best thing to wearing lots of jewels must be to eat one with lots of little ones instead. The other thing that's changing is that I turned 10 today. When I woke up extra early this morning, I found the birthday card on the kitchen table. The birthday card is a very old card. It was the last one Dad gave to me before he died. And every year, Mum puts it out so that he can be there to greet me when I wake up, just like he used to when he was alive. It doesn't say much inside, just, "To my pumpkin, happy birthday. Try not to grow up too fast. Love, Dad." I'm glad Mum had to leave for work early, because seeing the card always made me want to sit down and cry, so I did. And then I went to the room and played on one of Dad's favourite songs on his old record player. That made me feel better too. Sometimes all you really need is somewhere to cry without anyone ever knowing. I didn't remind anyone it was my birthday, because I wasn't having a party, and I didn't have anything to take into class with me. Josie brings in a big cake on her birthday, and Michael's mum always hands out goodie bags to everyone. But Mum doesn't have time to bake, and goodies bags are expensive. That's why it's easy to pretend that I don't have a birthday at all. I met Tom and Josie and Michael by the bus stop as usual, and when they didn't say anything about my birthday, I felt sad and glad at the same time. I was afraid Mrs. Khan might say something, but she didn't. My Uncle Lenny usually sends me something in the post, so I would probably get home to find a card with some extra pocket money or chocolate in it, like I did last year. If I did, that would be nice. At afternoon break, Josie and Tom and Michael and Ahmet and me talked about what we were going to wear to Buckingham Palace next week. Josie's mum was going to buy her a new dress and a new pair of football trainers. Michael was wearing a suit with a bow tie. Tom said he had a purple suit that his uncle had made him wear to a wedding in San Francisco, but which might not fit him anymore. And Ahmet said his foster mum was going to buy him something at the weekend, and that he would also take his rucksack. "You can't take your rucksack with you," said Josie. "It's old and ripped, and it's got a hole in the front pocket. The Queen might not even let it inside the palace." "But it's important," said Ahmet, looking panicked. "My dad gave me for my birthday before the war, and I carry from Syria, so next time I tell him it is seen by Queen." "Oh," said Josie, looking sorry that she had said anything. "Then you have to take it," I said. "The Queen will want to see it." "Yes," said Tom, "and your dad will love it." Ahmet smiled and said, "I know you will understand." The bell for last period began to ring, but as we all headed back to class, we met Miss Hemsey in the corridor outside. She was clasping her hands together, and her eyes looked red. As soon as she saw us, she ran over, and, whispering something into Ahmet's ear, took him by the hands and led him away quickly. "Where's she taking him?" asked Josie, as Ahmet looked over his shoulder with a confused look on his face. None of us could think of an answer, so we made our way into class. After we'd all got our spelling books and had spent 10 minutes learning the meaning and spelling of 3 new words, possession, depression, and objection, there was a light knock on the door. We all looked around to see who it was. After a few seconds, Miss Hemsey's head popped around the door, and after giving Mrs. Khan a thumbs up, disappeared again. Mrs. Khan smiled and, clapping her hands, said, "Right, everyone, close your books, please. I have a very important announcement to make." We all fell quiet and waited for an explanation about what was going on and where Ahmed was. "Today is a very special day," said Mrs. Khan, "and we have a few very special guests to help us celebrate." Everyone turned round to see if there was anyone at the door, but there was no one there yet. "Eyes to the front, please," ordered Mrs. Khan. "Now, before our guests arrive, I want you all to promise me that you'll be on your very best behaviour." Everyone shouted, "We promise, Mrs. Khan," wondering who the guests would be. "Do you think it's the Queen?" whispered Jose. "Maybe it's the Queen's guards again," whispered Tom. Okay, keep in touch for tomorrow's instalment where you'll find out who the mysterious visitors are. Bye.